On the island of Newfoundland, upon the southwest coast, lies the little town of Reggie, to whom I'll sing this toast. There are so many islands that lie just off her shore, and when the cold north wind blows, you can hear the billows roar. The people from the village make their living from the sea. They like their independence, it shows that they are free. Some fish in their small boats in the wind, the rain and sleet, while others make their living on the offshore trawler fleet. They've known their share of tragedies down through the years, and when the memories overcome, they show their grief with tears. For they have lost some loved ones to the furies of the seas, for heartaches and heartbreaks are locked in memories. This village, it's got beauty carved on its rugged shore. 7 miles of pure white sand, who could ask for more? The mountains and the valleys where the rivers run so fast, and the salmon rise to the sportsman's fly as he makes another cast. Now the people of this village love their native home, for anyone who goes away oh surely will return. Just like that lifelong mystery, the answer you won't know. What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul? What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul?
Good evening, and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight in our stories we have lightning damage, dump fire, Sand and Sea update, Reggie's trip. Please stay tuned for these stories after this. The Lions Club will be hosting their art roast beef supper at the community centre on Thursday, July the 28th. The ACW will be hosting a potluck supper in the parish hall on Friday, July 29th. The Burgeo Fire Department will be hosting their annual fish and chips supper at the fire hall on Saturday, July the 30th. The Jolly 50 Plus Club will be hosting a brunch in the community centre on Saturday, July 30th and Sunday, July 31st. More details to follow on these events. On Monday afternoon, lightning hit a utility pole by the watering hole on Route 480, causing it to split. This left the town in an emergency power outage on Tuesday, so the pole could be replaced. On Wednesday night, the fire department got a call from what seemed to be a fire in the garbage dump outside of the incinerator. Fire Chief Ann said that they did respond to the call and put out what was burning or smothering near the incinerator. Sand and Sea Chairperson Doris Pink came by the studio with a festival update. Good evening. In our studios tonight, I have with me Doris Pink, the chairperson for the Sand and Sea Committee. Good evening, Doris.
Hi, Maxine.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
The festival's getting close now.
Oh, is it ever? This will be the last update now.
Okay, very good. So, what kind of stuff you want to bring to me today?
Well, first I was going to think that we might have to change it from Sand and Sea to Fun in the Fog, but such a nice day out there now. Like you just said, well, perhaps we can harvest this, right? But hopefully we'll get good weather. We don't have any control over it. But I want to mention a few things about the street dance first, because that's brand new. And my last interview, I seem to make mistakes all over the place. But anyway, I said that the price for the street dance was $6 for adults, and it is. And it's $3, but it's not for age 12 and under. It's for grade 12 and under. So all students and under is $3, right?
Okay.
And it's a bring your own refreshment. So, like it shouldn't be too expensive a night. Like it's $6 for an adult and $3 if you got kids in school. And then anything else you bring with you. And I really want to mention this about the refreshments. Like, you can't have glass. If anybody on the committee sees you with something glass, we're going to ask you to pour it out. Because we're right here in the center of town, and it's bad enough if glass gets broken on the streets, but then there's the playground. And, we discussed whether or not to have the playground left open, and we thought we'd leave it open because it's a good, safe place for kids to play. And just if it's a nice night, you'll see them in there with those little, glowy armbands and necklaces, and it's really pretty, right?
Yes.
And they can have safe fun. But if you have glass, and glass gets broken on the playground, then all of a sudden it's a danger zone,
Yes, exactly.
So absolutely no glass, beer tastes just good can, or pour it in a plastic cup or whatever, and if you bring something in, that's the other thing, we'd appreciate it, regardless of what it is you're drinking or eating or whatever, that you take care of your own garbage.
Yes.
If you bring in a little cooler bag with 6 food cans, you can carry out a cooler bag with 6 empty ones. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, we really appreciate it if you'd pick up your own garbage. But we're absolutely stressing this point on glass, that we can't have glass all strewn over town. Like, we're excited about the street dance. We think we got. Well, I shouldn't even say this because I haven't heard the Wiseman Brothers, but I think we got the best music for the festival, for the street dance on Friday night. Like, Route 480 is guaranteed good music and good time.
Yes.
And so, and it's our very first street dance, and I hate to have, nasty vibes afterwards, like there's all the garbage is left around and stuff like that, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
if we all do our part, it should be easy for everybody.
Yes, that should be good.
Yeah.
So what about the entrance to the street dance?
Okay, now we've got pylons in this, I guess this is snow knitting or whatever, and so over on the other side of the playground, the 2 gates over there, one by the school and one by the drugstore, that'll be closed off. Okay, so that'll be fenced off. So the only access to the playground that you'll have is the one here by council building.
Okay.
And so we'll have then entrances to get in. They're out here by the Alliant building, I think one of the entrances will be, and then the other one will be over on the other side, of this building actually, over this way, right? So you can get in on both sides. And you'll have this old area here, like music will be there on Council Garage. And as I said, the bathrooms, washrooms will be in the Ground Search building there.
Okay.
We intend to put up a sign up by the motel so to let you know that you can't get through town down this way. You can come down and go up over Harris Hill, if you want to come out this way. But you won't be able to come down past the drugstore. So that'll be blocked off there by that road, right? And so just so if anybody's coming out the road, they can go the other way up by the Inspiration Road, or they can come down and go up over Harris Hill. And then that's the fire department mentioned that'd probably be a good thing to do that, and we will do that. But we get this whole area here, so we're really excited about it. So.
Oh, perfect.
And parking for that, I'm assuming most people will walk. You're right in the middle of town,
Yes.
But again, if it's not, like we don't have any designated parking area. Of course, there's space there by the parish hall, like in the church parking lot and post office parking lot, those areas out that way. But I'm thinking that most people will probably just walk in,
Yes,
So.
exactly. Okay, perfect. And what about the fireworks? Any more update on that?
Well, when we were here last time, I mentioned it wouldn't be nice to have them on Maiden Tea Hill there.
Yes.
And so Gordon Groom from council, and he's on our committee, and he said, just check that out, you know. And he called the guy who was going to do the fireworks, and he said he don't think there's any problem with it. He said, like, you know, matter of fact, like, he's vaguely familiar with Berger. He knows, like, the sort of the location. He doesn't see any problem with it. You know, of course, fireworks are really heavy, and so getting them up there might be a problem. And then Gord contacted the Canadian Rangers, Clayton Ingram's organization, and they've agreed to help, because, like, not anybody can handle the fireworks, you know, like the kind of dangerous explosives and stuff. And so they've agreed to help carry them up there. So we're really excited about that. Like, you know, imagine fireworks on top of the hill. I mean, everybody in Berger, like seniors, doesn't make any difference where you live. You'll just be able to go to your door and see them. Yeah,
perfect.
So yeah, so and it'll be really nice with the dance right down here, and then the fireworks right up on top of the hill. You know, it'll be just so it could be a really nice atmosphere if the weather cooperates with us.
Yeah. That's the big part.
Yes, isn't it though?
So did you get much help for the parking for the festival?
We've had a lot of reliable people, the same ones that, you know, help out every year, and I won't name names, as I'm sure I'll forget some of them, but, like, you know, they sort of, like, they're dependable, and we've got some new people, and I really, but parking is a problem always. You, like, you know, like, it's not something that you want to spend your time at. So if there's anybody else out there who wants to give us a hand for an hour or two to help out with parking, we'd very much appreciate it. But at this time, I'd also like to be really thankful for the Arbor Authority, the museum, CYN, and Recreation, and they've given us their students. Well, CYN, Arbor Authority, and Museum, we've got their students for Thursday and Friday, and we've got the Recreation ones for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that'll help us a lot with the games and with the parking. And I'm not trying to be sexist here, but it seems like if we take the boys and put them up on the parking, right, we get the girls to go help with the games, and it's just that they relate to, the girls relate to the kids in the game. Not all of them, but, you know, a little better, and the boys think it's more cool to be up in the parking lot, you know, just directing traffic. Yeah, like, parking would be a real problem if we didn't have the help from our student corps, I can guarantee you, you know, and from our volunteers. So if there's anybody else out there who would just, you know, give us an hour of your time here or there, then we'd much appreciate it.
Okay, perfect.
And they can call anybody on the committee, Max or myself, Gord, Sheila, anybody, don't matter.
So what about those that want to set up tables, Doris? What do you have to do?
I mentioned about the tables, anybody who wanted anything to sell themselves, you know, as, like, they have crafts or baked goods or whatever. They really don't know, there's no cost to sit up at a table or anything, but if they have a table that they'd like to sit up, probably be nice to give Sheila a call, Sheila Ingram at 2259, just so that we could have a table ready for them when they came up. You know, other than that, they could come up with a bunch of goods to sell, and we wouldn't have any table ready for them, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing, like, you know, just so we could sit aside a table or bring up some tables from down at the building or whatever we need to do, right? So, yeah, it'd be nice to let us know, that's all.
Okay, perfect. And you were saying at the beginning something about a change of open mic?
Yeah, the open mic, on our brochure it says the open mic night will be hosted by Travis Sternford and Darryl Mercer. Now, Darryl just left maybe 2 weeks ago now to go back to work up on the lakes. And so Travis has been trying to find a replacement, because the open mic is kind of hard to do by yourself. You like to have a little conversation back and forth. And Owen Marsden has agreed to help him with that, and we're really pleased to have. Now, Owen is no stranger to the open mic, because, I mean, he was one of the hosts on open mic night for ages, you know, with the other committee. And so we're really glad. And Travis is the happiest of all to have him back, because he was really stressing over it. And I'd like at this time as well, you know, like, anybody out there who wants to take part in the open mic, if you want to slot a particular time. Now, I know I've got a group that we'd like to do it, say, about 11 o'clock, or somebody wants to do it at 10 o'clock or something like that. You know, like, you can be perfectly spontaneous, but if you want to say, well, you know, I won't be here, say, at 9, but could I get up and do a couple of songs at 10:30, something like that? Yeah, just let us know, and we'll schedule you in, so we'll know that we can call on you now, and you'll hop right up there and do whatever it is you want to do. So,
is there an age limit for the open mic?
No, there's really not a age limit. It's open mic now. Like, I know when I said we have one act that we've I think is pretty much confirmed. So the group from the school, Rough Start, the band, you know,
Okay, yes.
Dylan and that crowd. I think they're going to go up and do a few songs, and we're looking forward to that because they played at the open mic night at the arena, but you know a lot of people haven't heard them, so this will be a nice place to showcase their talents too. So.
Yes. In case for those who don't know, what's the admission for getting in for open mic?
Oh, there's no admission. There's no admission for anything at the park. See.
And this is at the park.
Yes,
okay.
That's open mic night, and actually even if it's dirty weather and it gets changed to the arena, there won't be any admission for open mic night. So.
Okay. All right. Perfect then. And you got your screeching in plan again for this year.
Yes. Captain Melvin's going to do the screeching in, and a wonderful job he does with it. And of course, Anne will be assisting. Anne Bryan will help him out with that. But again, and it's good that you mentioned that because the screeching in, you know, we have a limited number of people that we can do. So we cut it off at 20, right? We won't go beyond that. So if you have somebody, and we already have some names in, right? So people who know we're going to have company at that time, whatever. So if you know you have somebody coming to visit and you want them to be screeched in at the screeching in ceremony, you should pass their names along to anybody on the committee because it is a first come first served type of thing. And so, you know, if we have your 20 names now, then you know we can't take somebody who comes up that day. You know what I mean? So it'd be nice if you know in advance. Then just let somebody know.
Yes, and there is an age limit, right?
Yes, it's 19 and over.
Okay, very good. So I guess people now should be starting to decorate for this.
Oh, they should. I get very excited. Every time I goes by Reverend Charles' place, they're on Inspiration Road. He's got all his flags out. He's had them out for a while. So yeah, if anybody's got flags or lights or anything like that they have stored in their basement, even though the weather's been awful, it'd be a nice time to pull them out and dress up the town and make it look like a festival is coming because the festival is coming. We got 1 week, you know. This is Thursday. Next Thursday we'll be almost up opening ceremonies, you know.
Yes.
So this is 1:30 now. We're doing this, right? So.
Yes, exactly. And your buttons and T-shirts, you got them in, right?
Yep, buttons are in most of the stores around town. They cost $2, and you know, you put your name on the little when you buy a button, and you put your name on this little tag that's there, and we put it in the draw bag, and you get a chance for like all the afternoon draws. And if you win on Thursday, your name goes back in. You can win again on Friday and Saturday. And we got some really nice prizes for afternoon draws. Like I'd say there's probably, just saying offhand, maybe 20 prizes, 25 prizes each day. Okay. And they're really nice prizes. They're not like nothing little junky stuff. They're really nice. So, so like I say, they're in most stores, and of course they'll be available at the festival as well. We got our T-shirts. I got one on now, like Sand and Sea Festival, Burgeo, Newfoundland, and they'll be available during the festival as well. But if anyone wants one early, they can give me a call. We've got them. This is a medium, and we got them all different colors. But we got small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, and 3X. Okay. So you should be able to find a size there somewhere now. This pretty green one doesn't come in all the sizes, but like we've got greens and blues and reds, browns, blacks, pinks, purples. Like you know, not in all sizes. You know what I mean? So we just asked for 100 T-shirts, I think it was, in assorted colors and sizes. So yeah. Okay. And they're $15 flat up, no tax or anything like that. So that's a good price for a T-shirt.
Oh yes, it is pretty good. So, and you also mentioned something about Lion and Lioness, but I forgot what you were saying.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you mentioned it. And this is the Sand and Sea Festival, and we are the Sand and Sea Committee. But the Sand and Sea Committee is only a subcommittee of the Burgeo Lions and Lioness, right? You know, so technically speaking, everybody in the Lions Club, everybody in the Lioness they're an extended part of this festival committee. It's a fundraiser for our organization. So we just want to make sure that all the Lions and Lionesses who were in town at that time, that they are available to help out at day and night during the festival. Now I know I've got some of the Lionesses have already been scheduled in for games and stuff, you know, and I haven't got any of the Lionesses scheduled for anything on Thursday, because Thursday we've got our roast beef supper
Okay,
at the
yes.
community center. So, and like when you take out the 6 of us who are on the committee, won't be there to help with the supper. They're going to be pretty run off their feet doing that anyway,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But once we get past that, yeah, we expect anybody who's available. Now we'll know again, like the 50 plus got the 2 brunches on the go, right? And I know a lot of the Lioness are also involved with the 50 plus. So, we know you can't be 2 places at one time, but if you're up to the park on Thursday afternoon and you're sitting down and we're getting ready to go pass out the cards or poker walk, then yeah, we'd appreciate if you get up and give us a hand with it, So,
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, very good. Anything else, Doris, you think you need to add?
I don't think. I just look at my note. I scratched stuff down, but I believe that's all I had to say today, Maxine. Hopefully you can give us some good weather and that the festival goes over smoothly.
Yes. I do wish you all the luck with
Oh,
that.
thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll have good weather.
Yes, and I really thank you for like short notice interviews and stuff, letting us get our information out there, letting people know what's happening.
Yes. And I will be putting the schedule on the community channel.
Oh, perfect. That'd be nice too.
Right, so
Yep.
very good.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Reggie Morrison came by the studio to talk about his trip to the Dominican Republic. Oh, jumping, so I got to do that one over. Tongue tangled up. Take 2. Reggie Morrison came by the studio to talk about his trip to the Dominican Republic. In our studios tonight, I have with me Reggie Morrison, who has been down to the Dominican Republic rebuilding homes. Welcome back, Reggie.
Hi.
So, I guess you had a good time down there, did you?
Yes, it was an awesome time. It was a really good experience.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about it. What kind of stuff did you do?
Well, I got to break it down a little bit. The first day we were there, we didn't arrive in Dominican until I think it was around 2 a.m. It was in the morning. It was really early.
Oh, yeah.
The next day we got up and we done an awareness tour.
Oh, yeah.
So we went around to the 2 communities that we were building in, which was Agua Negra and Arroyo Seco. And we went to Le Aignan. I was finding it really hard to say.
Yes.
And we just seen, they just wanted us to get a good idea of what situation some of these people were in, the houses. We got to go into some of the houses and stuff. And so that was what we done that day. We didn't do too much because it was really late night the night before. But the second day I was there, we went to the garbage dump because we were all split up into 4 teams. I was in team 1, and the first day we went to the garbage dump. And at the garbage dump, there's actually people there. Most of the people there that work there are from Haiti,
Okay.
and most of them are stateless, so they don't, technically to this world, they don't exist because they have no birth certificate, no documentation at all. Most of them don't even know what their last names are.
Okay.
So they can't get an actual job with any business to get checks and stuff. So they work at the garbage dump. And most of what we worked alongside, we were all paired up with one individual at the garbage dump that day, and we helped them for 3 hours to just pick through the garbage and whatever that person was looking for. So the one I was working with, she wanted plastic bottles and plastic bags. So this is what she does all day long, from pretty much when the sun comes up till when it goes down. She just picks through and fills up bags with these. And we just picked through that, and seriously, it was probably very, very emotional. Because to know that they're going through this, you're going through, you're just picking through garbage, and you think it's okay at first, and it's then you start getting through it, and you're actually into it, and it just stinks. The smell is overwhelming, and I don't know, it's just hard to explain. But another thing, you're going through, and it's not just garbage, really. There's these cows there that nobody knows where to come from, and they're feces and stuff everywhere, and then there's medical stuff. There's a lot of medical stuff gets disposed there because there's no way for needles or any syringes or anything to be disposed in hospitals. They just throw them in the garbage like anything else.
Okay.
So you're going through, and sometimes what you do, you rip open plastic bags, dump everything out, and you take that bag. So the one I was working with, she ripped open a big black plastic a garbage bag, and it was all medical supplies, and you could see the syringes and stuff, and it was well, she backed off of that because she wouldn't touch it. She kind of knew that was dangerous. But even though how disgusting it was and how sad it was to see this, it was really it was comforting to know, like, this woman that was walking by me, she was just, like, the entire time, she was just humming music, and, like, she was just content with it. Like, she like, she wouldn't, like, upset, and I don't know, it was nice to know that they were actually content with it. But, and another thing, like, there's kids there, too. It's not because, well, they're all the families there, usually. And the kids are there, and they're just playing games and stuff, and it's just at the garbage dump, something you wouldn't expect to see at a garbage dump.
No.
So that was pretty good. And at the end of that day, we, because it's such an emotional thing, and, like, they're always, like, asking, like, they're going to come up and ask for your shoes, ask for your gloves, but they're going to say, like, I want that. But it's not because they're saying it mean. They speak Creole, which is, they're from Haiti. It's kind of like French, and there's only, like, so many words in their, like, their actual language that the words choice that they have, like, to use is very, very minimal. So they just, but they seem kind of, like, mean or whatever, but they're not. It's just how they learn how to say it. So at the end of that day, we went for a hike to a waterfall just to, like, kind of clear our minds or whatever, and went for a swim and stuff as a group. So that was day 1, or day 2, sorry. And then the 3rd day to the 6th day, it was about the same. We were working at the home, and the way the work day went was half of the day we were at the school with the kids in the Royal Seiko, and at the other half of the day that we would go to the work site and actually work at the house and stuff. So we do a lot of, like, first day where it was mostly getting materials already, like the cinder bricks and all the sand and stuff. So we done that, and as the day went on, like, as the couple days went on, we started doing a lot of smooth coating, which is like putting, like, cement on the walls and just smoothing it out, and that's because that becomes their walls. And done a little bit of mixing cement and stuff. So that was what we done actually on the work site, and it's very, it was very frustrating because you think going into it, oh, it shouldn't be too hard. You're only working with bricks and cement, but it's actually really, really hard. And, like, you got to take the cement and put it up on a wall. It's just, like, falling off. And, like, the people, we worked alongside, actually, the community, because we more or less come in and help them build the house rather than actually build the house for them. So they were teaching us, and it felt good that they were so patient. Like, even though they can't speak English, most of us couldn't speak Spanish, but they were still, like, patient with us, trying to show us, like, just showing us what to do, and, like, try to get each other's techniques thing. So it was nice. And, like, they're such hard workers. They were already working by the time we got there that day. And then when we were leaving, they're still working. And, like, even the kids, like, there was the family I built for, there was a kid there, I think he was probably around 10, and he could lift the same as most of us that were there working, and probably more. And, like, he didn't care at all. Like, going off with 2 buckets of mixed cement at the same time, and there was a couple of us that could only take 1 at a time. Just to know that, I don't know, and, like, they didn't care. It's what they wanted to do. They want to just keep helping, but and they like having a lot of fun too. Like, they don't care about a little bit of carrying on, so it was like a fun time. And so at the school, what we would have done was, we brought a hockey bag full of just toys and skipping ropes, outdoor activity stuff, so parachutes and stuff. And what the kids were allowed to do, they come to us and, like, we just take them to the bag, and it was called the fun bag, and they take something out and then they could play with it, and then, like, you carry it back and get something else. But they just love that because, like, they see us coming with that, and they loved it because all these new toys, like, they have toys and stuff, but, like, not all this as much as we had there, and such a big variety. So they were just so, like, to see how happy they were, and they jump up, like, as soon as you got there, like, one of them, you'd feel them, like, tugging on your hand and holding your hand. But the thing is with the kids is that once you got one kid on you, that kid, then you're theirs. You're a gringo, they call it. It's just it's like a term for more like just out of, like, someone who's not from their country. So they just call them gringos. And it's I don't know, it's really cute to know, you know, that they care, and they're just so excited and loved us being there that they were content with anything we wanted to do. If they just for us to lie in the grass with them and just look up and they'd watch clouds, like, they were okay with that, and they'd do that for probably, like, 30 minutes just doing that. So
it's fun.
it was really nice. And actually at the school, like, a lot of times the kids, like, certain people connect strongly with one kid. Some people go, they don't, like, they just play with all the kids. Some people, like, one kid will stick to you.
Yeah.
So there was this little boy, his name was Francisco, and he's really, really shy. He was really shy, like, he barely ever talked. And the first day I was there, and, like, he just came up to me, and we were playing or whatever, and I was like, I just thought of it as being, he was just another kid, like, you know, just playing. And then as I was leaving, I came back from the work site, because I was at the work site the second half of the day, and when I was just sat there, and I felt a tug on the back of my, like, my backpack, and I looked back, this was him, and he'd climbed up on the truck and just trying to get my attention again, and I was like, oh my God, he actually remembers me, so it made me feel really good. And by the end of it, he actually remembered my name, and like, I don't know, he just always came to me. Like, he was there waiting for me in the morning when I came. He was there when I left or whatever. So it's really, like, I made a strong connection. He just, like, I don't know, it was really cute. It just makes you feel good, right?
Yes, at least I can imagine it would.
And, like, after, like, somewhat through this week, we were supposed to, like, the last day we were there, we were supposed to go to the school and go to that community if we had like a certain someone we want to give something to, and we were going to go give it. So I was going to bring something to Francisco, but there was actually it was unfortunate that there was, like, a riot in the community that day, and it was due to inflation, so we didn't get to go. But the interns that are still there, they took our stuff and they took it to it the next day, the following day after that. And they took a video, and it showed it was of Francisco, and it was when they gave him the stuff, and he looked over, and he like, actually, like, he looked at the thing, and he's like, hola, Reggie, and it's like, oh, yeah, actually, still Reggie. And he doesn't say Reggie, he says Wedgie, because the way their R's come out, so that ended up becoming my nickname for the rest of the trip. When he said Wedgie, everybody on my team just call me Wedgie. A lot of us got a lot of nicknames, so, but it was nice to know that. And I guess it was like the 7th day, I guess, we done the house dedication, where we took cake and juice and some music, and we just went to the house, and the family was there, and we presented them with the keys to the house and like some materials. So we gave them we gave to our family a double bed, a stove, and like a big basket full of, like, food, like chips and stuff, like junk food.
Okay.
So we give them all that, and it was kind of an emotional time to actually give this to them, and that now they're being give this, like, the feeling that you get to give a house to a family who can now feel secure, and then, like, that they're, like, for the mother to be able to lock her door at night, and even when her husband's not home, know she's safe and that her kids are safe. So it was nice for that, and that, like, no rain's going to come in on the roof. Like,
So the house was completed while you was there?
Yeah, it was pretty much, like, it was just mostly the inside was needed to be, like, the actual interior, like, decorating and stuff, like the painting and the, like, actual finishing. But the actual house itself, like, it was able to be lived in.
Okay.
So we done that. It was just a little bit they just needed to get done, but it was enough to feel that we accomplished, like, pretty much a full house in 4 days.
Perfect.
One of the teams actually that were building where we were a little bit more unfortunate, and they were coming to their critical part of where they had to, like, do the walls with smooth coat, and we got a huge thunder shower, and all the stuff that they had put on that day all just came off the walls, so they weren't able to finish their house.
Okay.
But we still done a dedication and give them all their stuff. So that was nice. And like, every night at the resort, that they had organized events, so try to keep our social, I guess, stuff up with everybody that was there. There was I think there was like 67 people altogether, and there was things like one night we had an 80s dance, another night we had a pool party, and it was like more of a competition between teams, and what else did we do? We had a movie night and a talent show, so there's all kinds of things, and you're always doing something, so it's really nice. And that's pretty much it, like, for the actual, like, trip itself. But the administrator of it always, like, she kept saying, okay, we do recognize this as being a holiday. So the final day that we were there, we got to either participate in, like, an outing, or we could have just stayed back and relaxed at the resort. So I actually took part in an excursion, which was to these canyons. It was in a canyon. And we hiked for 45 minutes. It was mostly downhill. And then we actually came to, like, it was more like a waterfall. It was like a river, but there was all kinds of waterfalls. And we just done, like, a series of jumps. Like, the first jump was like 5 feet. So we jumped off 5 feet into the water. We swam a little bit, then we hiked. We came to another jump that was a little bit higher, and then we came to a walk, and we kept doing this, and they got, like, they ranged from higher and lower. And then, like, the jumps range from, like, 5 feet to, I think it was 30 feet.
Oh.
It was, I think they called it ducktail or something he was calling it. I don't know. It could be a term. I don't know what it. But we were doing that, and it's a really good experience too for, like, people overcoming their fears. There were actually 2 people in my group doing that were one was afraid of water, and the other one was afraid of heights, and both of them participated in it. Like, they had a little bit of a trouble, like, with it, but they ended up doing it, which was, it was like made it more of an accomplishment for yourself too, right?
Yes.
So that was pretty good. And I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for what I wanted to add. That's about my trip anyway. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, would you recommend this trip to anybody, Reggie?
I would. Yes.
Yeah?
It's you can't actually get, like, the trip is what you put into it, you get out of it. And that's completely, like, they said that so many times, and that, like, you feel like you can't, like, they said we can't change, like, everything now, but we can start, and we can change it a little bit at a time. And you might think that you're going down there and you're not going to do anything, like, this little bit of time is not going to do anything, but it's such an eye-opening experience. I would recommend it to anybody. And, like, actually anybody who can put time into it and do it is a really good experience.
Okay. Because a lot of people, when you think of Dominican Republic, is the resort they go for their holidays.
Yeah.
But this is a different side.
It is, and that's what we were talking about too. Like, we seen, like, it was weird how, like, we always see, like, if we go on vacation, we only see the vacation part. We were seeing the vacation part from the other side. So we were seeing the actual situation some people were in. Then we were seeing, like, we could look at people and tell that they were there for vacation, and they just have a blank mind and they have no idea what's actually going on. And it actually makes you think sometimes that, like, how guilty you might, like, I know I say 90% of us felt major guilt just being down there from things like there's so much that they don't have that we take for granted, like a bottle of water, like a bottle of actual clean drinking water. Their water's not clean in there, and most of them, like, even a bathroom, like, most people in their houses don't, like, in the small communities that are in these situations, don't have bathrooms, so they can't, like, the thing is, like, that's like giving the house that they can actually lock the door, and giving them, like, a bathroom, like. Mothers now, if they're at home and they have to use the washroom in the middle of the night, they can't leave. They don't want to risk leaving their house and going out and probably never coming back, because there's so many, like, predators and stuff out there that they're not saying that they're going to get time, like, they're actually going to make it back to their house with their kids.
Okay.
So, like, they're just forced to, most of the time, just use the washroom in one little spot in the house. And it's just obviously it's not sanitary. It's not a bathroom. It's just, probably could be the corner in the kitchen.
Oh.
So that's why giving them this house it means so much to them. Like, it's so tiny. Like, it's probably like 20 by 20, like 20 feet by 20 feet. That's the size of the house. Probably the size of most people's living rooms.
Okay.
But they got one room, like one bedroom. Then there's, like, a kitchen area and a living room area, and, well, whatever. So, like, just that. But they take that and they just love it. And, like, at the house dedication, I actually forgot to add that we kind of, like, exchange words. Like, our team wrote up a little paragraph and a little speech to tell them, like, how much, like, they taught us just being there. We came there to help them, but they taught us so much, probably more than what we feel that we gave to them. But we feel like we want to give more. It was just it was really emotional. And then they came back telling us, like, they barely had any words to say to us, because they're like even when we seen, like, the father there, because the father was crying, and he was just so happy that he now has a house that he can leave, like, his family in and still feel okay about leaving them, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was a family of 9 that we were building this house for. There was 9 of them.
Okay.
The mother and the father and the 7 kids. So.
Okay, very good. What would you say would be your best part of this trip?
Oh God, that's probably a hard one. I think, I think it's a toss up between the actual like being able to the actual feelings you get and feeling like you actually done something, and learning so much. That was probably like the actual is overall probably just what I've learned from it is probably my best experience. But it was really good to go down there and interact with all these people, and like it was like from the day we were in Toronto that we spent with orientation that I connected with like our whole group just connected so fast, and I think it's just because it felt good to know that there was more people that were like me to go out and do this kind of stuff, and like that we're all so much alike, and it was just like the friendships like just instant, and it was crazy, and we came so close, like it was unbelievable. So like you think that we were like friends for like years.
Yes.
So that's probably like the friendships that I made and stuff, and like you will like find people just like you, and it's really nice. So that's probably
That's perfect. What will be the worst part of it, you think?
I'm probably going to say actually having the first instant of trying to connect reality of the situation that these people are in. Like they're in poverty, like they're like people think poverty, okay, poor people. That's not just what the situation is. They're in poverty, they're suffering like so much, but the actual having to face it, that it's reality, and that like so many people in the world are in poverty right now. Like I'm not sure. I think I have it here actually. There's like a percentage of people that are in poverty. I'm not really sure where it is, but I know like it's such a high percentage. Like even like I think one of our interns threw out to us that only like it's less than like 30% of the world actually owns a vehicle. 30% of people in the world actually own a vehicle, and to actually think of that, because we always think of like Canada, okay, it's big, most people got vehicles, everybody's in a good situation, so it's like, oh, most of the world's like that. But there's so much that we don't ever see, and we just put a blank eye to, that we need to think about it and actually realize that this is actually happening. This is real, and it's really so, yeah, the reality of it, and trying to face it, but then trying to put that to the side, because that's not where we're not there to sap over it all. We're trying to fix it.
Yes.
Like one step at a time, we're trying to fix this, and that's what I guess that was the hardest. And actually coming back from it, I know talking to most of my friends, like, well, they said actually, well, first of all, at the last meeting we had with the whole group, we had like a briefing kind of thing, like a debriefing, and we talked, like they warned us that like you're gonna go back, and some people's gonna get it the first day, like the traveling back. Some people's gonna probably get it a week later. That you're gonna get like a really big shock. Like there's more of a culture shock coming back than there was going.
Oh yeah.
And like you come back. I know a lot of people said it on the bus ride when we got off the plane in Buffalo. And they said, like, just looking around and seeing, like, these bridges and big buildings and stuff, I'm just like, this don't seem real. This actually seemed like we were just in Dominican, and that just these little houses, and now we're looking at, like, 20-story high buildings.
Yes.
And it's just it's really hard on people. Like, some people have, like, completely emotional breakdowns. Like, I know that for me personally, coming back and then, like, being in here and then, like, I pick up on more, I'm not going to say ignorance, like, with how people, like, treat things these days, but, like, the actual, like, even for me, myself, like, if you complain about these little things that really mean nothing to you, like, oh, my shorts are a little bit dirty, so I can't wear this anymore. Like, I had to give away my pants. I gave away my pants at the garbage dump that day when we were there, because I actually stepped in some cow feces and it got all over my pants, and like the girl said she would wash them, because we had translators, and the girl said that she would take them and wash them and give them to her brother. So I give her my pants, so I was kind of pantsless the car ride back, but that was fine. I've kind of felt like good that I was giving like something away. So it's just they take that for granted, like they don't care. Like, they just take little things and they make the best of it, and they're so happy. That's probably one of the good things. Like they're so happy. They're not like, you think they're all like would be sad and stuff. You think like we went in and we're just like, oh my God, I can't believe, like I can't imagine living here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much.
Okay. And you got me confused because I had a question I was going to ask you. Well, listening to you, I think it was. Do you plan on going back anymore?
Oh, I do plan on going back actually. I thought that maybe coming back would probably be enough for me, but I don't think I was. I don't feel like I was there long enough.
Okay.
So I actually plan on. There's a really good intern program for the trip that because they do two groups that go down. So I was in the first group this time. But what the interns do, the interns go with the first group, and then they stay there for the entire time of the first group and then the second group that comes down. So it's about 24 days about that. So they're down there for that, and they actually help run the program. We do at the end of every day, we do debriefing. So we actually talk about like highlights of the day, like each group does this, so the interns help run that. They're just kind of there to more help it flow better and get stuff ready for like registration and stuff. So I plan on doing that. I'd really like to, and it seems like, I don't know, I guess there's another step, like a further, like to go further and be able to be there for a like longer period of time and do more. So then I'd be able to participate in building of 2 houses rather than just one. Or depending on what they have in store for next year, they could be doing a school for all we know, because the school that we went to during the workday was actually one that they built.
Okay.
So I do plan on going back if I can. Hopefully, the applications I think are usually posted in September. So I'm guessing I'm going to be starting all over with my fundraising, but this time I'll have a lot more time because last time I didn't start till April, and that was actually the deadline for the actual money and stuff. So now I have like a nice few months, but I got to get on it right away because it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's about it's only guessing from this year, it's about $4,000 for the registration, and then when I travel to Toronto and back. So it shouldn't be too hard. I'm sure I can do it.
Yes, there you go. Well, Reggie, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. Yeah. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, actually, I'd just like to thank everyone for the support that with fundraising, and that was really greatly appreciated. And that it was like, I more or less thank everybody that they helped me actually get down there and experience this. So it was great.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
This concludes our program for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.